Hey, Sammy here with another episode of the Digital Marketing Therapy Podcast. Thank you so much for joining me. I wanted to talk with you a little bit today because I just hired a VA. And so for those of you who are unfamiliar with the term, it just means virtual assistant. So somebody who's not necessarily in your physical space or working in your office all the time, and somebody that helps you with tasks. VA is a pretty general term in the online space. I typically don't like to think of them, or at least mine that I hired as an assistant, because there's a lot of self-directed tasks that they're helping with, and a lot of VA can handle a variety of things. So we'll get to that in a second. But I wanted to just share with you, because we're just kind of kicking things off, kind of why I decided to hire a VA, what types of things I'm looking for them to do. And, as you're thinking about a hire to help in your team, ways to kind of think about what you might want to hire, or who you might want to hire, or what you might want to hire them to do. So I just thought I would share my insight to see if it's helpful for any of you as you're going through the growing pains, as I know many of you are. Many of you are volunteer boards or volunteer staff who are just trying to hire the next person to help out with your team. Some of you are maybe growing tremendously and just need a little bit of assistance, but not quite ready to hire a full-time person, or don't want to add another full-time employee. All those things. So I'm going to walk you through kind of my process and who's on my team right now and how we're kind of trying to grow that, and how we decided what the next kind of person was that we were going to bring on board. Because I'll share some of the concerns that I had and the control freak in me, and why it's been, taken me to this point to kind of get to this level. But before we get into it, this episode is brought to you by our digital marketing therapy sessions. These are 30-minute sessions that you can book with me at any time. And we can walk through wherever you're stuck. If you need help with your website, if you need help with your email marketing, if you need help with your content creation, whatever it might be that you're stuck on in the online space, I'm here to support you. And that's what these office hours are for. You can book time at thefirstclick.net/office hours. And I look forward to getting to know more about you and your business. But for now, let's get into the episode. You're listening to the Digital Marketing Therapy Podcast. I'm your host, Sammy Bedell-Mulhern, and each week I bring you tips from myself and other experts, as well as hot seats with small business owners and entrepreneurs, to demystify digital marketing and get you on your way to generating more leads and growing your business. Okay, so before we start, full disclosure, I'm currently recording this from San Antonio, Texas. I am staying at my brother's house, and I am holed up in his bedroom working while he's at work. And the cats have decided all of a sudden that it's time to run around and play. So you're probably going to hear them scratching and eating in the background, so I apologize for that. But anyway, this is just the world we live in these days, right? Okay, so I have been in business for a few years now, and since the beginning, I have always had my brother, Berkeley, different brother, I'm not at his house right now, who has been alongside me helping with the graphic design, with the website design and development. He's editing this podcast, all sorts of things. He does a lot of things for our clients, and has been an integral part of the team since the very beginning. So it was really important to me that I find somebody that can balance out the skill set that I don't know from the beginning. I'm great at working with clients. I'm great at creating strategy. I'm great at getting the work done when it comes to content and email marketing and things and social media and things of that nature. I do not have a design eye. I am not a developer. I do not have coding. So it was just kind of a natural fit for the two of us to start working together because our skill set was super complementary. The next hire that I did pretty quickly was a bookkeeper, so somebody to manage my books. I found that running and managing my money was something that I knew was super important for my business, but not something that I would do. So my, reconciliation of my accounts and all that stuff would pile up pretty quickly, and it would all of a sudden be 6 months, and I wouldn't have done anything with it. And so it just wasn't my zone of genius. It wasn't, work that I wanted to do. So hiring a bookkeeper was something that happened pretty early on in my business. And I'm so thankful for that because it saves me so much time and energy at the end of the year. But every month I get the reports that I can kind of take a look at and know where I'm at and how I'm growing. So those two things happened pretty quickly on in my business. Even before I was close to making any money, it was kind of the investments that I knew I needed to make in order to grow. And I think that that's a really important lesson is, in the beginning, we definitely do all the things. So I was doing, all of the lead gen. I was doing all of the social media. I was doing all of the, learning and education and getting back on track on some of the different things that I'd kind of, gotten lax on, adding new skills that I needed to do that to support the things that we wanted to do for our clients. So, you're kind of taking on all the things. And that's absolutely important in the beginning, right? We want to be as lean and scrappy and get as much as we can done with the small team that we have. And over the years, as we've kind of really honed in on what exactly we want our business to be, we've added services, we've dropped services, we've added programs and memberships, and we've done all of that. And we're really in a good spot. I think I've talked about this quite a bit in some of the previous episodes, but we're in a good spot with, who we want to serve, the products and services, and saying no to clients or saying no to, we don't do these certain things, and feeling good about being able to do that. So we can do the things that are in our zone of genius that make us happy and that we really feel like provide good value to the clients. Now, recently, I should back up for a second. I should say that, yes, when you're doing all the things, there's certain things that you definitely feel like, yeah, I kind of know how to do this, but I don't really like to do it, or it's not being done to the best of its ability. Or it's something that just takes up a lot of my time each week. And I know I need to keep doing it, but I don't necessarily, it's not the best use of my time, right? We all have those things. And so I recently got to that point and decided that it was time to hire a VA. Now, in the virtual space, because I run my entire business online, I don't live in the same town as my brother, although we did used to live next door, but we don't live in the same town anymore. I don't live in the same town as my bookkeeper. I don't live in the same town as my VA. But I knew I needed somebody to help with some specific tasks. So virtual assistants help with a variety of things. So if you're looking for somebody to help you with customer service, to help you with social media, to help you with writing content, there's so many different things that you can use virtual assistants for. I typically like to not call them assistants because I feel like they provide so much more value. Not that assistants don't provide a ton of value, but I was really looking for somebody that can really take the bull by the horns and just go with it, that I wouldn't have to handhold a lot of. We've had interns, we've had staff, we've had part-time people throughout the years, and they've all had their strengths and weaknesses, and it's all had a different level of management. And so I really wanted somebody that I could trust to just kind of take it and go with. Now, we are just getting started with them. So I will do a follow-up episode to talk about how the onboarding process has gone and kind of lessons I've learned and things that are going great, things that I would have prepped differently, because I know this is a partnership and this is something that requires both people to step in and take ownership of. And so I'm thankful for that. I also knew that I didn't want to hire somebody part-time or full-time. I didn't want to hire somebody full-time. I wanted to be able to get a specific amount of tasks done, and then know that I could grow with somebody as needed. So kind of a way to test somebody out, but also knowing, I have a budget for X amount of things. These are the priorities. So I really sat down and thought through what are the things that I really need to get taken off my plate? What are the things that only I can do? And what are the things that I can have assistance with that will be helpful for my business, but I don't need to be managing on a day-to-day. So a couple of those things were social media. So posting on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. I know what needs to be done. This isn't something that I'm aware of, that I should be posting and how often, and I know the strategy behind it, but the execution of it for me is just something that doesn't happen consistently. And so I really wanted to up-level that and make sure that I'm posting consistently to things like Instagram Reels, to Instagram Stories, to my Facebook, to LinkedIn. So all of those things. So So that was something that I knew I could pass off. The other thing that I wanted help with was my podcast show notes. So this is the perfect example for me, I guess, of making a list of things that only you can do and things that you can delegate, and kind of what does that combination look like. So obviously, I'm the only one who can record these podcast episodes. I'm the only one who can record the interviews, right? It would be weird to you if all of a sudden I had a VA coming on here and on their own doing a solo episode, right? Hopefully one day I'll have my VA on here and we'll do a joint episode and talk kind of about what that partnership and relationship looks like. But what do I can't have them record the episode. So that I need to do. But what I can pass off is the cleaning up of the transcripts and the show notes. And so that's, I think, just a very good example of different tasks that you need to pay attention to. So paying attention to how do I need to take a look at the things that are on my list every single day, and what is it that really only I can do, and, what are the things that I can pass off. And I'm going to challenge you, especially founder owners, or founder presidents, or whatever your title is. And, boards that have been, if you've been on the same board since the beginning of the organization, it can be tricky to differentiate between the two. I have been the main person in my business since the beginning. And so it's taken me a while to hire a VA because I had to get past that control freak piece of me. And really determine, I can let this go. Now I feel comfortable. I feel comfortable with somebody crafting some social media messages for me and not, making me look ridiculous, right? Like, I've let that go. I've built up enough history. I have enough things in place. I have enough data, and I have enough content and things that I can send them that they can, I'm going to put faith in that, right? You have to figure out what that is. But at a certain point, you really have to take a look at the list. If you've written this list out, these are the things that only I can do. Read it again, because there's probably other things on that list that you don't need to be doing that somebody else can be doing for you. Okay. And it took me a while to get there. It'll take you a while to get there, and that is A-okay, but challenge yourself to get there, because I promise you it's going to be well worth it. It's also important to really think about what are the qualities that you're looking for and who do you want on your team. Because when I was originally looking for a VA, yes, it was something like around 5 to 10 hours a week is all I was looking for. So you might think, it doesn't really matter what their personality is like or whatever. Do I, mesh with them? You might think that it doesn't matter, but it really does. And to me, it really matters. I want to make sure somebody has the same values I do, because even though now it's only 5 to 10 hours a week, who knows what that relationship could turn into. And if you have somebody that you've hired even for a few hours a week coming in and working within your business that doesn't exemplify the same values or the same, thought processes, or doesn't believe in your mission, you can get yourself into a situation where it just doesn't work. I mean, you've hired those employees before that come in, and just the community is not there. The feelings of camaraderie or just work ethic or style are not the same. And yes, it does take time. And I'm not saying that it's going to be perfect for me. Like I said, we're literally just starting. So far, so good, in case you're listening. No, seriously, so far, so good. But it's... even at a few hours a week, something like that can create a toxic situation. So really make sure you understand, and this is just good in general, what are the types of qualities you want in somebody that you're hiring? Are they hopefully trustworthy is a thing, right? But are they detail oriented? Do they have a good sense of humor? Are they a taco lover? Like, I don't know, whatever it is that your organization already has in place as like, these are kind of what our personalities are like, making sure that that position fits in with what it is that you're looking to accomplish. Okay. So I was looking for somebody who was very transparent. I was looking for somebody who was knowledgeable on social media. I was looking for somebody who was warm, who, for me, I wanted somebody that I felt like I could go back and forth with. The part about being, one of the only people that's making the main decisions of an organization is that you tend to feel like you're in this silo of nobody to brainstorm with or nobody to bounce ideas off of. So I'm loving that I get emails that say, hey, these are some ideas that we're thinking about for social media. What do you think? And we can go back and forth. Like, I love that because I'm not the one who's having to come up with everything all by myself, and we can brainstorm. So that was something that was important to me. And then again, the self-starter, making sure that they're able to kind of take it and run with it more quickly. And I don't have to handhold. So really understanding what it is that you're looking for. Now, I want to throw this out there as an encouragement because I know a lot of you are in smaller organizations. And I just wanted to mention that the VA situation is something that, hiring a VA is something that can be really impactful for a lot of organizations that don't have any paid staff yet, because it's a great entry point into getting some support and some help without having to commit yourself to a full-time employee or even a part-time employee at 20 hours a week. It's also a great opportunity because you're not their only client. And I know that might sound counterintuitive, like, well, are they going to care about me that much? But the beauty is, because they work with multiple clients, you don't have to feel reliant on to be their main source of income. Okay. And there's lots of things you can do. You can have VAs in the US. You can have VAs that are international. There's different rates that go with all of them. So do whatever fits you and makes you feel good. My VA happens to be based in the US, in Texas. But it's all up to you and what feels good, what feels right for you and your mission and your organization. But I just know that it's a term that not a lot of nonprofits are aware of. It's very common in the online space that I live in. But I wanted to make sure to bring it to you. So whether it's admin tasks, whether it's hiring somebody that can review your grant proposals or write your social media posts or help you with your hiring, reviewing resumes, helping you with your website, your IT, tech support, like there's specialized VAs in all sorts of realms. So I wanted to share with you what I'm using mine for, social media podcast show notes for now, with the expectation and hope and really like warm feels that we expand into more different things. But so many good things. Think about it as a way to get some support without spending a ton of money or hiring a full-time employee. I think it's going to be great for you. So if you have any questions about what I did for my VA or how we're working, I will again do a follow-up episode in a few weeks. Like I said, we literally just got started. I'm recording this episode on June 8th. And we kicked things off on June 1st. So I just wanted to share this part of my journey, and I will continue to share how this journey goes with you on social media, on Facebook and Instagram at The First Click Marketing, as well as in this podcast at thefirstclick.net/podcast. So that is it for now. I hope that you will subscribe wherever you listen so you don't miss out on an episode. We come out every Tuesday. And thank you so much for listening, and I will see you in the next one.